May I come in, sir?
Please come.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Thank you,
Please
sir.
Tell me something which is special about Bhubaneswar.
Bhubaneswar is famously known as the temple city of India. It has many temples and it also has lot of historical significance. For example, we have the famous Paika Rebellion, which started in 1817 and is also known as the first War of Independence. So I think those are the two major
Tell me something
specialties.
special about Bhubaneswar as a modern city.
Bhubaneswar is, it has been ranked, it has been continuously coming first in the smart city list, and also a lot of modern developments have taken place. For example, the traffic management system that is very smart, and also a lot of important schemes. For example, the Jaga mission, where the people from the slums, they are being properly rehabilitated. So those things has been taking place.
All right. You have anthropology optional, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are interested in something called machine learning.
Yes, sir.
Can machines learn?
Yes, sir. So basically, what happens is we train the machines with lot of data, lot of models, and using the data, the machine they try to find out patterns.
But that is not learning in the actual sense. You are just dumping data and hoping for the best. Yes or no?
Sir, they try to somehow. It is not exactly same as human learning, but from the data they try to deduce the pattern. For example, if I talk of the government, recently, like yesterday, we were being taught about the change detection module, that is about how to prevent encroachment in defense land. So earlier it was very difficult to manually detect the encroachments, but now using machine learning algorithms, what they do is that they compare the satellite data like
Done.
temporary.
How can artificial intelligence help in anthropology?
In anthropology, we are focused on tribal development. So I think a lot of
Is anthropology about tribal development?
no, sir. I'm talking about like it's a part of.
Okay. Go on.
Yes, sir. So when we are focusing on tribal development, a lot of schemes, like if we have to customize the schemes, because it cannot be one fit all. So based on certain socioeconomic parameters, and lot of things like their development, their origin, so we can develop some customized schemes. Secondly, in case of rehabilitation programs, it is very difficult for us to find out the suitable place.
Done. Agreed. My last question to you. Two things have been in the news. I want you to tell me the difference between the two. One is the International Criminal Court. Second is the International Court of Justice.
So the difference between the two. International Court of Justice is one of the UN organ, and its main mandate is to settle the disputes between the countries. Whereas the International Criminal Court, as per my knowledge, it is under Rome Statute, and basically it is dealing with criminal cases. Like for example, if I could remember, like the president of Russia, Putin, there was some charges against.
Are the decisions of these courts binding?
Sir, I think it's not binding, but I'm not
If
completely
it is
sure.
not binding, what is the point in having these courts?
Sir, somehow they create some kind of international pressure on the countries.
Fair enough. Thank you.
AYUSHI, I see that you have gotten into civil services through your 22 exam, but it says that you have not joined or you have not taken that job. What job did you get?
Sir, I got selected into Indian Defence Estate Service, and I'm currently undergoing training.
You are currently undergoing
Yes.
training. How much did you get in that interview?
Sir, I scored a bit less.
How much?
So 160.
160.
Yes.
That's an average one, not little. So, the best question that I can think of, give me one compelling reason, being a computer scientist and into a service, that you want to join IAS.
Yes, sir. When I was studying computer science, I got interested in technologies. I started developing interest in big data, machine learning. But somehow I found that if I'm using it as a computer science as student, then somehow I found that I cannot use it in a larger scale, basically for social sector development. So when I was introduced more into technology, I found that it has lot of scope for bringing in change into the society and how technology can actually bring in a change. So that sector, I think,
Okay,
that
that's a
motivated
long
me.
answer, but not a very satisfactory one. I'll tell you in the feedback what
Yes.
should your answer be. Artificial intelligence and anthropology. Do you think human race as a race is in danger because of increasing use of artificial intelligence?
So various experts have told that AI can danger humanity, and their concerns are based on certain valid ground. For example, there
What do
is
you
a
think?
yes, sir. So, for according to me, I think in the near future there is no danger, and we are already focusing on regulation. For example, the European Parliament, they have brought in a law where there is a risk-based categorization. So, according to me, it is not in danger if we are following proper regulations and proper guidelines.
I will disagree. You have no driver cars. You have artificial ladies reading news on the news, items. You have so many replacements of human labor.
Yes.
What will 8 billion people do when most of their jobs are taken by artificial intelligence?
When we talk about taking jobs, it falls into two categories. One is which are repetitive, they will be taken, but I don't think it's a complete replacement. Rather, it is augmentation. We actually need human, they are not completely replacing, and there is always a scope of AI are not completely correct. There is always false positive, false negative, and there we need the human involvement.
All right. What do you know, or what can you tell me about the current status of NATO expansion?
So currently, few countries like Finland and Sweden, they have also told about their interest about joining NATO. So that's what
That's it?
Yes, sir. I have to read more about it.
Okay. All right. And what is the latest on Maldives? What is happening on Maldives?
Recently, Mr. Muizu, who has been elected as the president, and he won the campaign on the ground
That
that.
happened quite long time ago. What is the latest that is
So
happening?
latest I could remember was about the Chinese ship that was.
Okay.
That
And
was.
later than that, something has happened in the last 2-3 days.
I'm not aware about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. There is something going to happen about Odia as a language. What?
So I'm not aware about it.
Okay. The first ever Odia language. Rings a bell?
No, sir.
Conference. Okay. Exposition. All right, tell me, you used a word, Bhubaneswar has been a very smart city.
So,
Now, is smart an adjective or is it an abbreviation?
sir, I meant it in terms of smart city mission.
Taken, but what is it? What does the word smart?
So if we take it grammatically, it's an
Yes.
adjective.
Yeah, no, but then the way it is conceived by the government, what does it stand for?
I'm not aware about the full form of
Okay,
smart.
याद कर कहीं से पढ़ लीजिएगा याद कर लीजिएगा Biju Babu has been a legend,
Yes, sir.
probably the only person to be wrapped in 3 flags of 3 different countries when his last journey was taking place. Which were these flags? India is one, of course.
Second would be Indonesia. Third, I'm not sure.
Soviet. Okay, why Indonesia?
Because he played a very crucial role. He had rescued two of the key leaders during the Indonesian. He had played a very important
Who
role
was
there.
the person accompanying him? Who was the co-pilot, so to say?
His wife.
Okay, all right. You have also been in Telangana you're working now in Hyderabad, is it?
No, sir. Currently, I'm undergoing my training.
I beg your pardon. Before this, you were in.
Yes, sir, for 1 year.
What was this Telangana issue all about? Briefly.
Sir, I have to read more about the Telangana issue.
Okay.
I know about the bifurcation, but I'm not completely aware about the exact reasons and data and facts.
Have you roamed around Andhra Pradesh and Telangana?
Sir, I was mostly confined in the cyber city, and it was a very smaller tenure, and most of the time I was also in work from home option. So I had a limited knowledge and exposure about Telangana.
All right. Okay. How does Odia food differ from Hyderabadi food?
Sir, Odia food, it has lot of things like pitha, and the Odia cuisine has lot of specialties. For example, it has pokhalo and all those things. Mudhi mangso, it's a very famous
Every
dish.
place will have some dishes
Yes,
which they
sir.
name differently.
Uh,
I'm asking you the style of cooking.
Sir, in Telangana, what I found is they use lot of spices, which is not used in Odia dishes.
Yes,
And
that's
second
what I was
is,
coming to.
and second is it has a lot of things like biryani, which is very famous. The Mughal delicacies, those are more specialized in Hyderabad and Telangana, which is not so in case of Odia.
Thank you.
Ayushi, regarding your home state, apart from Bhubaneswar, name any two important cities.
Raulkela, Cuttack.
Okay. What is Rourkela famous for?
It's famous for Raulkela steel plant.
What does it manufacture?
Steel.
Any specialized steel or just any steel?
I'm not sure about it.
Okay. And what about Cuttack?
Cuttack was, before Bhubaneswar, it was the capital of Odisha.
Till when?
I'm not sure about the exact date. And a lot of important, like High Court is located in Cuttack. And also Cuttack is famous because it was home of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
Why is it that hockey players
Yes, sir.
dominate from your state in the national team?
Sir, because our state has been actively promoting hockey from organizing the Hockey World Cup. And also, if we talk about one particular district, I would like to highlight, that is Sundargarh. So many tribals from Sundargarh, they from beginning they have this imbibe into their culture. And also, government is trying to map out those tribals, and in every particular blocks, they are trying to promote those people who are actually doing very good. So I think that's the reason why they're dominating.
What is the other sport in which basically Odisha is in the forefront?
So I'm not sure about other sports.
Archery? No?
I have read about, like, there was a tribals who are doing very good in archery, but I have to read more about national level contribution.
Okay. There is a feeling that caste-based census, which some states have been clamoring for, is not in the best interest of the nationalist outlook. Do you agree? If not, why?
Sir, according to my view, I believe that if the end purpose is right, because in order to give certain affirmative actions, we need data. Without objective classification, we cannot give the affirmative actions cannot be taken. So, in my view, if the end objective is correct, then I don't think it will blur the nationalist idea which has been projected. And I think the caste census, it should not be promoted as a way of dividing people. Rather, it should be seen as a way where we are promoting certain welfare objectives.
Don't you think if we categorize on the basis of economically weaker section, EWS, to replace caste reservations, it would be a better option?
No, sir, I exactly don't agree with this, because caste is not just about economic parameter, because there has been lot of social stigmatization, lot of historical discrimination which has existed with certain group of people, and no matter how economically progressive they are, there is a discrimination which still exists. So for that we need some kind of affirmative action. So according to me, it cannot be replaced.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ayushi, there have been so many instances that somebody is talking on a phone that I need to buy a car,
Yes, sir.
and then they are shown while surfing on anywhere on internet a car advertisement. Somebody is texting somebody that I want to buy shoes, and they are shown shoes advertisement. What kind of algorithm is this?
Exactly, it's not algorithm, but whenever we are, it's based on our web searches, or maybe some kind of email that it automatically detects our interest, and then we get lot of spam emails. So that's a kind of privacy intrusion also, and we need proper regulation to prevent such things.
But this WhatsApp and personal calls are encrypted, end-to-end encrypted.
Yes, sir. Sir, end-to-end encryption is for chatting and all, but it's not completely end-to-end encryption, as we can see from this incident.
Okay, let's say on a website, the website is asking me to allow the cookies. If I'm not allowing the cookies, that website is still tracking me or not?
Sir, it should not actually track, but as per, I think it's still tracking, because there are some other alternatives to track. It is not just about the cookies.
Exactly. Then what government is doing on it? There are laws in US and in Europe for
Yes,
this.
sir.
Don't you think Indian government is just being blind on this?
We are already framing this personal data protection bill, and we have already set up committee, BN Shri Krishna committee, and we are already in the process. Like we had recently, there was a joint parliamentary committee, and after their recommendation, we have brought in certain changes into it, and I believe that in few months this legislation will be passed, so that will ensure that our critical and sensitive data are being protected.
Okay. Coming to your optional anthropology, tell me how humans learn language.
Like I could not actually understand the question.
How humans
Yes, sir.
learn languages.
Okay. So there are one could be there are two alternative views about it. One is that it is somehow genetically pre-programmed in our brain. Like the moment we are born, the rules of grammars automatically we somehow adapt to it. And second is basically when we as a social being, when we interact with others, so from that we learn. So there are two alternative view. One could be genetic, or second can be as a social, when we communicate we learn.
Okay. Do men and women speak differently?
Yes. Like as per my anthropological knowledge, there is some kind of difference. Like women, they are known for saying language of understanding, language of care, which is more emotionally connected, and men are known to give language of it can be like more dominating, and yeah, that's that difference. That was a research also, it was done like by Deborah Tannen. He's a famous
Language is related to social class also.
Yes, sir.
How?
There was a research like people from the lower stratification and from the higher stratification, they speak different language. For example, people from the lower caste, it has been found that they are not able to complete the sentence. They have a different accent. And also there was a research among the peasants in Java by Clifford Gates. And there also the accent of the people from the lower class and high class was different.
Okay, let's say IAS officer from a lower caste. This same thing will be followed on him too, him or her.
No, sir.
It cannot be applied.
Yes, sir.
Why?
So the research was very much limited. I'm not saying like the research is correct. As per the research by anthropologists, it was done in a limited village, and there this accent difference was found. But I'm not completely, I do not completely agree with the research.
Okay, my last question, from one language to other language. You might have been to UPSC website a lot of times.
Yes,
What
sir.
language is it made on?
Language.
upsc.government.in वाला जो website है.
I'm not sure about the language.
Okay.
So the programming language, yes, I'm not sure about that.
Do you think UPSC website is safe?
So there was one news about once about hacking. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
You are always leaning forward. But are you comfortable sitting like this?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes.
Because initially it gave me the impression that you were waiting just to get up and run.
Pounce.
If you are comfortable, it's all right. You are more natural than many other candidates. Your hand movement, that's a great positive. Much more natural. But before I go any further, why do you think you got 160?
Sir, I think I could have been better prepared.
Obviously.
I was not better prepared.
Specifically?
Sir, actually I was stuck up in the UPSC cycle, so I think I was really frustrated. So I think that somehow it reflected in the interview score. And I think something also there's about luck, because in my first interview I got 180. This time 160. So second interview.
This is your third interview?
Yeah, third interview.
In succession, one after the
Yes,
other.
sir.
But it's not reflected in your DAF.
I think I have mentioned in my DAF one.
Anyway.
My first impression was that you are waiting to run away, as I said. That is one. Positives I have already told you. Great personality, you are very natural. 2-3 things that I would want you to take care of. Some answers I found rather long.
Yes, sir.
Try to cut short. In fact, when I was talking to you, I interrupted you 2-3 times, if you recall. Try and cut them short, because the 5 people answering questions, that is one. Second, I thought somebody as aware as you, would have been a bit more aware of your state. That awareness, very basic questions were asked. Correct?
Yes, sir.
The 2 other positives that I found in you was, one, you readily admit that you don't know. That shows your integrity. And that also shows that you're willing to admit ignorance. The other positive I found in the question he asked, caste census. Many people avoid forming an opinion. You very readily, very smartly formed opinions. Which means that I find you have a lot more positives than negatives. The only thing that bothered me was your posture. Somehow I started feeling uncomfortable. You're getting my point.
The impression you gave was being tentative. So be more relaxed.
When is your interview?
14th March.
14 March. What are you going to do in this period?
Sir, I think I'm not in touch with the current affairs. Like for many days I'm not able to read. I'm not getting time actually. So I have to read more on my newspaper, and I have also not completely prepared on my DAF. It was my first panel interview, and I was not that much
This is your
prepared.
first mock this
yes.
time? Oh, okay.
So I have to completely revise my notes about my state, about my hobbies and everything, about my graduation subject also.
So from that point of view, did you find this mock useful?
Yes.
They let you expose.
Yes, sir.
How did you find it useful? Like what did you think?
So I like there are a few things which I had to revise, especially about my state. Then second thing is current affairs. Also, I have to read more deeply. I have just read it at the surface level. I have
Yes,
to read
that was the other point.
two.
1, 2 answers I thought lacked a bit of depth.
Yes, sir.
Agreed.
So I have to spend more times in I have to give more time for newspaper reading.
Are you still working or are you on leave?
Sir, I'm in my training.
You are still undergoing training?
Yes, sir. Yes.
You have not taken leave?
No, sir.
Okay.
And because IAS training is in Delhi, correct?
Yes, sir.
So one question, which might likely be asked. Now the government has talked about abolishing cantonments and establishing military stations.
Yes, sir.
How does your service fit into this change?
Sir, IDS has two major functions. One is the administrative part of cantonment, and second is land management. So, if at all the cantonment conversion into military stations happen, then that CO post that might be reduced. But we have the DO post, and it has lot of functions about land management. Around 18 lakh defense land is managed.
Yeah,
So-
you are prepared with the answer. Fine.
Okay. You see, Ayushi, I have a very basic problem with your whole interview. I don't know what is the reason, because you have taken 2 interviews. You said that you were getting frustrated with this thing. You seemed very informal in this interview. You seem that you are not interested in this job.
I don't agree. I like your personality. I like
No,
your
personality
style.
was fine.
I like
But
your
the-
style too.
Yeah, but the way I thought, I am reinterpreting what he had said, that it seemed as if you want to run away. I'm interpreting it in a different.
That was simply because
Yeah. So, I mean, that was my impression, that you are taking it very informally. Your answers also, your attitude to answer, I found it little informal, but it's maybe my personal view. As far as the answer to that question, why IAS, for a person with computer science background, you're already in a job or defense accounts or whatever. My take would be that India is on a development path. By 2047, India wants to be a developed country. If I join a service which is into policy making, I'll be able to contribute much more to the development of India. And by the time I become a joint secretary at a higher policy making stage, then I'll be able to contribute much more with my background in computer science and others to bring more and faster development to India. To me, that would be a much more plausible interpretation of a person who is coming from the engineering background. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
That's all from me.
Can I
Yeah, go ahead.
add something into
Yeah,
this?
please.
Yes.
You see, on this particular thing, which will be asked of every doctor, engineer, etc., computer scientist, you have to there's no right answer.
Yes, sir.
You have to frame your own answer, and it should sound very sincere.
it should be convincing, it should make sense.
Correct?
Yes.
And the first thing which is about this in the present for your generation is that it's not a zero-sum game. If I can be a doctor, I can't be this. If I am an engineer, I can't be an administrator. That's how you have to structure your answer. That fine, I've got a skill. The skill is going to be more useful in the times to come, right? That you have to balance out your answer.
My impression
Otherwise-
is very positive. You are definitely 180 plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Small
true.
little changes here, but definitely I don't see any other.
No,
Everything is covered, I guess.
everything is covered.
Anything you want to ask?
Be relaxed.
Sir, like they will ask me, you're already in IDS, why IAS? Like why IAS, you're already into civil service, are you not satisfied?
As my colleague there said, Jana, you are the best person to answer this.
See, my aim is there. I'm not there yet. Honest.
Be straight. Be straight. This is what I was aspiring for. Maybe add some of the things he said, but be honest about it. And there is no problem in having an ambition. It's a good thing.
You have almost 50 days left now.
Yes, sir.
And one of the suggestions that can be made is that whatever deficiency you have found, let's say on your state, on your DAF or whatever, make individual question bank on each of these topics.
Yes, sir.
Go deep into that and come out with bulleted answers in order of priority. That is why I asked you, because you are already under training, you will finally get very little time. So you can utilize this time in two things: read newspapers, economic newspaper, as well as watch one television channel for a news thing, Vion or something, and make this question bank. Work on that. That may be
All the
helpful.
best.
All the best to you.
You do it.
Thank you.
All
sir.
the best.
All the best.